For this tutorial, we're going to be doing a few things. First thing we're going to do is we're going to show you how to set up a new folder on your desktop called Weekly Lesson Plans. This is where all of your weekly lesson plan material will go. Getting to know the program happens to be using an Excel format, how to create a template so that you don't need to change your class schedules every week. It'll all be set up for you. How to enter data using the program, how to save the file in a PDF format, how to submit it through email, and then we'll finish things up on a timeline when things are due. So the first thing we need to do is set up a new folder. I suggest that you set that new folder up on your desktop. It's real easy to do. Somewhere on your desktop, do a right click, new folder, and you will name this Weekly Lesson Plans. So at this point, everything that you make goes into here. That'll be where you store everything that has to do with weekly lesson plans. So now let's get to know the program. On Pirate Principal Pages, there's a file in there that's listed as Weekly Lesson Plan Template. And it looks like this. So let's get to know what this program's all about. May look a little bit confusing, but actually it's pretty easy. Let's start out by letting you know that your lesson plans can be completed in 6 easy steps. Enter the teacher name, enter the week, set up a class schedule, enter your data, save the file, then you're going to email it. So let's show you what some of the features are of this program. First thing is your class schedule. Over here on the left hand side, this whole left hand column is where you set up your schedule for first period, second period, so on and so forth. Up at the top there's a progress bar. This indicates your current progress in completing the plan. Over here on the right hand column are screen tips. Basically, if you're missing information, it'll show a red alert. If you've completed a row, it'll show completed. You'll see that as we move along. So let's go ahead and get started. You've downloaded the Weekly Lesson Plan template from Pirate Principal Pages. What you need to do at this point is to set up a template of your own. Basically what you're doing is you're setting up all the information that isn't going to change over a long period of time, such as your name and what your schedule is. So the first thing you're going to do after you download the file called Weekly Lesson Plan Template is you're going to put your name in it. Now we'll use Mrs. Crocker as an example. So for this template, the teacher name is never going to change. And her schedule isn't going to change either. So what we'll do is we'll now put in her schedule. I'm just going to make this up as I go so it's a little easier to see how things move along. So first period we'll say that she teaches 7th grade choir. And we'll say for second period she does the same thing. So she teaches choir 2 periods in a row, same grade level. And I'll fill in the rest of the material here, and I'm just going to just randomly pick things so you can see how this is done. Also, you don't want to type this information in. You want to select it from the drop down. Remember, setting up the class schedule, this doesn't change over the course of the year, with the exception of some teachers. They may switch classes at a semester. If that's the case, then they'll need to set up a new template for that second semester. Now for 7th period, let's call that our plan period. Now notice here on the screen tips it shows that this period's complete, which makes sense. You don't have any objectives, you're not putting any GLE codes or any activities for students to do. It's already completed. So now you've set up a template for Mrs. Crocker for all the classes that she teaches in any given day for that week. So now what we want to do is we want to save this template in the file that we created on our desktop. How we do that is go up here, press Save As. It's automatically going to default as a weekly lesson plan template for an Excel workbook. So you go ahead and put your name here. In this case it's Crocker. Remember, you're going to save that in the file you created, or the folder you created on your desktop. And then press Save. You'll notice that this automatically comes up. So now you've saved a template that has the name of the teacher and the class schedule. So when it comes time to writing the lesson plan, all you need to do is pull up that template, and then you'll save it in a different name, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Now, as you're looking at this, you say, well, she's teaching 2 periods that are the same subject matter. If it just so happens for this week that you're teaching second period exactly what you taught first period, what you can do is you can go up here. This is you can make first period apply to second period. The SA right here stands for standalone, and each period defaults to this, and basically what it's saying is that this lesson plan for this period is all by itself. It's not taught again for any period. But for the sake of argument here, let's suppose that she's teaching the same material first period as she is second period. Instead of having to retype all this stuff down here in second period, we can just link first period to second period. So this is what you see. Plan for second period is the same as first period. And you'll notice that this is now all complete, which makes sense because the information needs to be put in here. Another feature of this program is you'll notice that some of these cells have a little red corner on them. These are comments, and I've added comments to first period only of some examples of the objectives, how to interpret GLE coding, example of GLE description, activities, assessments, and notes. So let's go ahead and begin entering information. And we'll just do first period so that you can see how to do that. And I'm just going to type in random information. Go to the cell that you want to enter information in. In this case, I'm just going to type in the letter X. Here though, I'm going to go ahead and type in a longer description so that you can see how the text wraps in that cell. I'll just type my name over and over again. And press enter. Automatically wraps that text in the cell, so you could type as much as you want and it will include it. And then again, just a random X. Now you'll notice the screen tip shows that all cells in this particular row must contain data. Well, and they currently don't. There's only one cell there. So as you fill all this in, as soon as you get a row filled in, it'll go to complete. So the goal here is that all of these screen tips should read complete. Now don't forget, you got to put in the week that you're working on. Once you do that, it'll automatically put those days where they need to go. Let me go back here. There we go. If you make a mistake, you can just go back up there and press delete. It'll get rid of them and bring them back up again. Or if you put the wrong one in, it's not a real big deal. Alright, so we're 42% complete. What does it look like when you're completely done? It's going to look like this. all the screen tips are now green, which means you're at 100%. You've completed 100%. When that happens, a new message is going to appear on the top. It's going to read, your lesson plans are now complete. Please save and email a PDF formatted file as crocker.09-03-12 to msmith@phr6.com. Now, where is it getting this information from? It's getting it from the last name of the teacher, and then it's adding in the date. What you need to do is you need to save your lesson plan in a PDF format using that name. The way you do that is go up here, go to Save As. You're going to save it as a PDF file. Remember, you want to save it in that file or the folder on your desktop, and you're going to type in exactly what it told you to. Crocker, period, 09-03-12. You're going to press Publish. And this is what you get. You'll notice that the class schedules over on the left-hand side are no longer there, and the screen tips are no longer there either. It's just the pertinent information regarding your classes. So there's first period, second period, third, fourth, fifth period. For this example, is merged with fourth, sixth period, and seventh period was your planned period. Okay, so we've set up a new folder on our desktop called Weekly Lesson Plans. Got to know the program, created a template, we entered the data, we saved the file, now we need to submit it. You simply go to your Outlook. I'll use the one I have here at home, it's the same as what we use at work. Just select New, and send it to msmith@phr6.com. Subject will be Weekly Lesson Plans. Go ahead and put your name in there and put as requested. Attach the file. Remember, it's at your desktop. There's the PDF file. And press Send. It's that easy. So when do you need to submit the file? What's the timeline? Well, lesson plans are due on Fridays for the upcoming week. I like to have those by 3 o'clock. Now, I know that life gets in the way and we get really busy, and I understand that. And so at the very latest, I need to have those prior to you teaching the class on Monday, which means 8 o'clock in the morning. And that's when those lesson plans need to be submitted to me. In the event that you have a substitute, I'll already have your lesson plan, and it'll be real easy to get things moving along. There won't be any problems. So you need to make certain that you send those to me by Friday, the very latest, Monday by 8 o'clock. And that concludes our tutorial on weekly lesson plans.